Filipinos are known around the world for their hard work, their resilience, and their unmatched dedication in every industry, from healthcare to construction, from domestic work to shipping. Millions of Filipinos keep entire countries running. But what happens when nations try to replace them? History shows a shocking pattern. Many countries that pushed Filipinos out or replaced them with workers from other nations eventually struggled and, in some cases, collapsed. Today we reveal 15 countries that failed after replacing Filipinos. And the stories will shock you. The first country is Saudi Arabia. For decades, Filipino workers were the backbone of Saudi's hospitals, schools, and households. But when the government tried to limit foreign workers and replace them with locals and other nationalities, many industries began to suffer. Reports showed hospitals struggling without Filipino nurses, households facing problems without Filipino domestic workers, and companies realizing they had lost some of their most reliable employees. The second country is Kuwait, where thousands of Filipinos worked as domestic helpers, caregivers, and hospital staff. When Kuwait attempted to cut Filipino workers due to diplomatic disputes, it faced a shortage of skilled labor, leading to higher costs and serious service gaps. Videos surfaced of hospitals overwhelmed and households unable to find reliable replacements, proving how much they depended on Filipino workers. The third country is Qatar, another Gulf nation where Filipinos dominate in construction, hospitality, and healthcare. Qatar brought in workers from other countries, offering cheaper contracts, but soon discovered that the work ethic and quality was not the same. The projects slowed down, deadlines were missed, and the government quietly allowed Filipinos to return because without them, progress had stalled. The fourth country is the United Arab Emirates, a land of luxury towers and futuristic projects. Much of it built and maintained by Filipino hands. When some companies tried to cut down on Filipino hires and replace them with other workers, complaints rose from employers about communication problems, low efficiency, and lack of dedication. Eventually, many companies admitted they needed Filipinos back because the system simply did not function the same. Without them, the fifth country is Libya. Before the war, Libya had thousands of Filipinos working in hospitals and oil industries. When conflict erupted and most Filipinos evacuated, the Libyan healthcare system collapsed. Many hospitals were left without nurses or doctors. Entire towns lost critical services, and the oil sector slowed down because the workers keeping it alive had vanished. The sixth country is Iraq, similar to Libya. Iraq relied heavily on Filipino workers, especially in healthcare and reconstruction projects. But after tensions and security issues forced Filipinos to leave Iraq, faced an immediate vacuum. Hospitals were crippled, reconstruction projects stalled, and the absence of Filipino workers was felt so strongly that Iraqi officials appealed for their return. The seventh country is Lebanon. For decades, Lebanese households depended on Filipino domestic workers, known for their loyalty and hard work. When political tensions and economic collapse hit Lebanon, many Filipinos left the country and families struggled badly to replace them. Stories surfaced of households cycling through multiple workers from other countries. None could match the discipline and care the Filipinos provided, and the country's already fragile system fell deeper into crisis. The eighth country is Bahrain, a small but wealthy Gulf nation where Filipinos worked in schools, hospitals, and homes. Bahrain attempted to cut costs by replacing them with cheaper labor, but the quality gap became obvious. Soon, complaints rose from hospitals about declining standards, and households struggled without the same reliability. Bahrain eventually had to open doors again for Filipino workers. After realizing their mistake, the ninth country is Singapore, a nation that relies on foreign workers, especially in domestic work and health care. When Singapore attempted to diversify away from hiring too many Filipinos, it quickly realized that quality and training mattered more than numbers. Workers from other countries could not match the skill level of Filipinos, especially in elderly care, and households started requesting Filipinos back, proving their irreplaceable role in the system. The 10th country is Malaysia. For years, Malaysia employed Filipinos as domestic helpers and entertainers when policies shifted to prioritize other foreign workers. Many households and businesses complained that discipline and efficiency dropped significantly. Malaysian employers admitted that the absence of Filipinos had a clear negative effect on their quality of life and work. The 11th country is Hong Kong, where Filipino domestic helpers have long been considered the most trusted and reliable. When Hong Kong families experimented with hiring from other countries, many discovered cultural and communication issues, and countless employers went back to requesting Filipinos, specifically because they had built a reputation that no one else could match. The 12th country is Taiwan, where Filipino factory workers and caregivers were the backbone of many industries. Taiwan at one point reduced Filipino workers in favor of other countries, but factories soon reported drops in productivity, and households caring for the elderly struggled with replacements who lacked proper training. Taiwan quickly adjusted its policies after realizing the irreplaceable role Filipinos played. The 13th country is South Korea, a nation that depends on foreign workers in construction, factories, and domestic work. When South Korea experimented with replacing Filipinos with other nationalities, employers reported language barriers, cultural conflicts, and lower efficiency. South Korean companies eventually welcomed Filipinos back into their system, acknowledging their unmatched discipline. The 14th country is Greece. Before its economic crisis, Greece had thousands of Filipinos working as seafarers and domestic helpers when the crisis hit, and many Filipinos left the shipping industry, and households faced a sharp decline in reliability. Greeks quickly learned how much they had depended on Filipinos to keep vital parts of their society running, and without them, the cracks showed. The 15th country is Italy. Thousands of Filipinos worked in Italy's hospitals, households, and elder care. When Italy's economic struggles and stricter immigration rules pushed many Filipinos out, the elderly suffered. The most households could not find the same level of dedication and professionalism from replacements. Many families begged for Filipinos to return, proving their role was far more critical than anyone admitted. These 15 countries all show one undeniable truth. When you replace Filipinos, you do not just lose workers. You lose dedication, reliability, compassion, and excellence that cannot be copied by anyone else. Time and time again, nations have learned this lesson the hard way. Filipinos are not just employees. They are lifelines for industries, families, and entire systems. When they are pushed out, the results are clear. Hospitals struggle, households collapse, projects fail, and countries stumble. It is a shocking reminder that sometimes the strongest force keeping nations alive does not come from presidents or armies, but from the millions of Filipino workers whose silent sacrifices hold the world together. So the next time you see a Filipino working abroad, remember this: without them, many countries would not just be weaker, they might fail completely.